في ناس كتير طلبت مني إن أنا أكمل Oliver Twist, though I was thinking that you were not interested. بس بما إنكم كتبتوا وطلبتوا I can't refuse your requests. في سؤال كده, there's a question that came to my mind and I like to ask you about it. Why did Fagin and his boys want Oliver Twist for their gang? حد فيكم فكر why they were so much interested in Oliver Twist? يعني اشمعنى Oliver Twist اللي هم رحبوا بيه واخدوه and they were trying to teach him their own of stealing وكل الحاجات دي. why? think كده وقولوا لي ايه رأيكم. طيب Oliver Twist زي ما احنا متفقين was having innocent features. His innocent appearance and his innocent look would be very perfect for Fagin's gang, for pickpocketing. ليه بقى؟ عشان no one would ever suspect him. محدش أبدا هيشك فيه علشان وشه الملائكي. He was having an angelic face. This innocent face, this angelic face would make no one suspect that he was going to be a thief. طيب, have you ever thought about the main conflict in Oliver Twist's story? Think about the main conflict and try to write to me in the comments. Fagin and Company. Fagin and the Company. It was late next morning when Oliver awoke from long sleep. There was nobody in the room but the old man. Who was the old man? Of course, he was Fagin, who was making some coffee for breakfast. When the coffee was made, he turned round and looked at Oliver and called him by name. Oliver was only half awake and did not answer. He was completely asleep. That was why he was calling him. He wanted to be sure that Oliver was sleeping. And we will know why now, why he wanted to be sure that Oliver was sleeping. Fagin thought that Oliver was still asleep. He locked the door and then he drew out a box from a secret hole in the floor. He placed the box carefully on the table. He then sat down and took from the box a splendid gold watch, bright with jewels. Now it's the treasure. كل الحاجات اللي سرقها بقى, it's Fagin's treasure. He then sat down and took from the box a splendid gold watch, bright with jewels. He said with an ugly smile. Why ugly? Because he himself as an ugly person, that even his smile was ugly. Oh, fine Phils, faithful to the end. They never said a word about. Who was faithful to Fagin? The only faithful thing in his own life was money. It was the only way for safety, for happiness, nothing but money. Why should they? It wouldn't have saved them from hanging. No fine fellows. He bought the watch and took out at least 6 more watches. I think this is not the page. He said with an ugly smile, fine fellows, fistful to the end. They never said a word about, he never said a word about. He never said a word about Fagin. Why should they? It would have saved them from hanging no fine fellows. He said that there are no faithful friends. Only the faithful friend was his watching the golden wall, that who will never ever be the reason for hanging him. He put the watch back and took at least six more watches. He looked at these with equal pleasure. There were also some beautiful rings and other splendid jewels in the box. What a wonderful idea it is to hang men, he said aloud to himself. Dead men can never be sorry. Dead men can never talk. It's time for our business. Five of them hanging in a line and not one left to tell the story of these jewels. Why he said these words? Of course he was exaggerating too much. يعني ايه exaggerating؟ يعني مبالغ قوي في الموضوع. But this shows his pure evil character. This reflects his pure evil character. زي ما اتفقنا إن أي quote reflects the character of the person, in the character. I should highlight it and I should remember them very carefully to use them as an evidence in my answer to any question. As he said these words, his bright dark eyes fell on Oliver's face. The boy's eyes were fixed on his in silent curiosity. Fagin knew that Oliver had seen what he was doing, because he felt that Oliver had seen the golden watches, that Oliver already knew his secret. He said these evil, too much evil words. Fagin knew that Oliver had seen what he was doing. He shut the box quickly, took a break knife from the table, and went over to Oliver. Why are you awake? What have you seen? Speak out, boy, quick, quick for your life. Now he started to threaten him. He wanted to know exactly what did Oliver see. You see now the character of Oliver and how honest is he. I wasn't able to sleep any longer, sir, said Oliver. I am very sorry if I have troubled you. I have only just woken up. Did you see any of these pretty things? Said Fagin. Yes, sir. He's very honest. He could have lied to save his life, but he didn't, said Fagin, putting down the knife. They are mine, Oliver. All I have to live in my old age. At that moment, Jack Dawkins came in with another boy called Charlie Bates. Remember these two names, Jack and Charlie. Now they will start another process, which is brainwashing Oliver, because we said that he was very important for the gang. Why? Because of his innocent face. Well, my dear, said Fagin, I hope you have been at work this morning. Dawkins, hard. Charlie Bates, very hard. Good boys, said Fagin. What have you got? Dawkins. Well, sorry. 2 bags of money, said Dawkins, and he gave the two bags to Fagin. Not so heavy as they might be, said the old man, but well made. He is good at this work at his work, isn't he, Oliver? Oliver, very good. And Charlie Pace laughed, much to Oliver's surprise. He could see nothing to laugh at. And what have you got? Said Fagin to Charlie. Handkerchiefs, replied Master Pates, or Charlie Pates, producing four. Well, said Fagin, looking at them carefully, they are good ones, but you haven't marked them well, Charlie. So the marks shall be taken out with a needle, and we will teach Oliver how to do it. Now they are teaching Oliver their secrets in stealing. Shall we, Oliver? Ha, ha, ha. Oliver and his naivety. He was so naive, if you please, sir. He thought that it was a game, but in reality, it wasn't. You would like, so if we want to talk about character of Oliver or Oliver's character, if you are going to mention, and of course you're going to mention his naivety, you will simply choose this incident or this event to show and to prove his naive character. You would like to be able to take pocket handkerchiefs as well as Charlie does, wouldn't you, my dear? Very much. If you will teach me, sir, said Oliver, and Charlie Bates laughed again. Why they were laughing? Because, of course, they were making use of him. They were laughing because they were making use of his naive and innocent character. After breakfast, the old gentleman and the two boys played a very strange game. The old man placed a silver box in one pocket of his trousers, a bag of money in the other, and a watch handkerchief in his coat pocket. He then walked round and round the room with a stick, just as old gentlemen walk in the streets. Sometimes he stopped at the door, pretending to look at a shop window. Then he looked around for fear of thieves. He kept touching his pockets to see if he hadn't lost anything. He did this in such a funny way that Oliver laughed till the tears came to his eyes. He's making fun of everything because he's taking it innocently. He's so naive. And this was his first practical lesson for pickpocketing. All this time, the two boys followed close behind Fagin. They got out of his sight very quickly. When he turned round, at last Dawkins stepped on Fagin's foot, while Charlie Bates pushed again him from behind. In that one moment, they quickly took from him the silver box, bag of money, watch, and handkerchief. If the old gentleman left a hand in any one of his pockets, he carried out. What is the importance of this event or this action in the story or this part? Its importance is to show the naivety of Oliver Twist, that he didn't understand that they were thieves. He saw that they were playing. Where it was, and then the game began all over it again. When they had played this game a great many times, two young ladies called to see the young gentleman. One of them was called Bet and the other Nancy. They had a great deal of color in their faces, and their manners were very free and easy. Oliver thought them very nice girls indeed. They went out with Dawkins and Charlie Bates. There, my dears, said Fagin to Oliver. They have gone out for the day. They lead a very pleasant life, don't they? Oliver asked. Have they finished work, sir? Fagin. Yes, unless they find some work to do while they are out. Do as they do, Oliver. They will be great men one day, and they can help you to be a great man too. He's doing what? He's brainwashing. It's very important to know the process of the brainwashing of Oliver's mind. ليه؟ لأن ممكن يجي سؤال عن ال brainwash. Okay. طيب why he was how he was brainwashing Oliver. First of all, he was teaching him how to pickpocket. Secondly, he was convincing him that by stealing or by doing this, he will be a great man one day. Is my handkerchief hanging out of my pocket? Oliver, yes, sir. See if you can take it out without my feeling it as you saw them do when we were playing this morning. Oliver, of course, was enthusiastic about this because he thought that it was game and he wants to win it. Oliver held up the bottom of the pocket with one hand, as he had seen the Dodger hold it, and drew the handkerchief out of it with the other. Cried Fagin, is it gone? Oliver, here it is, sir, showing it in his hand. How innocent and naive Oliver is. You're a good boy, my dear. Here's a shilling for you. He rewarded him. If you go on in this way, you will be the greatest man of the time. And now come here, and I will show you how to take the marks out of the handkerchiefs. Oliver could understand how this game could help him to become a great man, but he wasn't yet 10 years old and thought that Fagin, being so much older, must know best. This shows how Oliver was so naive and has a very good nature. Oliver was a very innocent character. This chapter 6 showed the brainstorming of Fagin and how they were trying to teach Oliver pickpocketing and attract him to their gang. And also it shows a very important part in Oliver's character, how naive and innocent he was. It also shows the corruption in the society and the dark evil side of the society at this time. Dickens wants to show how they were victimizing Oliver. هنقف هنا عن chapter 6. I hope لو عجبكم الفيديو don't forget to share it. هدخل لكم لايف تاني علشان خاطر to continue with chapter 7. Wish you the best. Be safe. Don't forget to subscribe and share the video عشان كل زمايلكم يستفيدوا to share the ideas of Oliver Twist. لو في أي أسئلة, either to write it to me in the comments or wait for the coming live video to discuss it with each other. Hope for you the best. I love you so much. Wish you the best all the time. I'm always here for your help anytime. I can be live with you, help you, and thank you for being a subscriber to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.